What is up, YouTube? So I am very excited today to bring you this video. I feel as if I may have found a hidden gem. Now, I found this live stream on this channel, True Crime Updates, and the video is called, "Is that Ari, or is she just pretending to be Ari?" Now, I listened to like the first 30 seconds, and the person's voice sounds uncannily like Ari, and they're talking about the situation. So let's get right into this. I think this might be a banger of a video.
Hello?
So you've talked to me before?
Who?
You.
I have not talked to you. I don't even know who you are.
Well, you said.
I'm just gonna say right off the bat, that sounds like Ari. Am I wrong? She has that like Boston, Latino accent.
That you knew that I told you that Wade was guilty.
I'm sorry.
That I've known all along. On Coral's Live, you said that I told you that I've known all along that I was guilty. That Wade was guilty. So
what is your name? I don't even know your name.
Courtney.
Okay, Courtney. I've never said that about you. I know a bunch of Wade's friends because I did talk to them. None of them say good things about him, but I don't know you. I don't even recognize you. I never said anything about you. I don't know anything about you. But a lot of his friends do think he's guilty. I mean, if you're one of them, that's great. But if you're not, that's good too. Who cares? He's on death row.
Oh, this is AJ.
He's where he's supposed to be.
AJ.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be his fiance.
No, I'm not supposed to be his fiance. I will be straight up with you. When he started hitting on me, and I felt really bad for what is his fiance's name? What is her name? Jessie? Jessie? Is that her name?
Yeah, but you felt so bad that you continued to talk to him and tell him
I only
that
talked
he
to him.
can't be.
No,
No.
We've heard all the calls. The full story.
We've heard all the calls.
No one knows the full story because I didn't talk to him for a very long time. All those calls that were posted, that was the first fucking day I ever spoke to him, and he was talking to me like that. And before I spoke to him, I spoke to Jessie. Jessie is the one that reached out to me on Instagram.
Okay, so this either is Ari or is someone pretending to be Ari, or better yet, the person who is pretending to be the person who is pretending to be Ari. But I do think this is the person who's pretending to be the real Ari. My God, this is a confusing, diluted web. But the voice is bang on. It would be hard to get it that bang on. What do y'all think? Y'all think it's the real one or a pretend? Or the real fake? The real pretend Ari.
I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me. And when I talked to Jessie, I felt like, I didn't know the full story about Wade and what all he had done because I didn't really do any research and I wasn't really paying attention to the media. So when I talked to Jessie, I thought, okay, this girl's, she seems pretty nice. She's trying to free her boyfriend. And I really, truly, truly felt bad for her because she was talking about like they had wedding plans, they had a house picked out, and that they were going to use the money that they were raising for their wedding and to get a house. And she was looking for like free representation, but good representation. And she was just, saying all this thing, like she has this huge plan for them. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's nice. So when I was talking to Wade, I knew he was being flirtatious with me. And I have a thing where if I see a male being flirtatious with me and that is like taken, I will tell the girl because I think that is so disrespectful. And I knew for a fact if I acted like I liked him, he would go along with it. And he did. He fell for the fucking trap. And then I actually...
Yo, Ari was his karma. And she's confirming it. She's not confirming why she was pretending to be a lawyer originally or why she got involved or any of that. But she's basically confirming our suspicions that she was just playing Wade this whole time. And it's looking like it was because Wade was a piece of shit. Good person. Other than the pretending to be a lawyer. That's crossing a bit of a line, I think.
Actually recorded that call. I was recording it and I played it back to Jessie. And I told Jessie that, and she jumped down my throat. She was freaking out about the whole thing. And she was like,
100%
oh, you tempted him and stuff like that. But no, I didn't. That was all him.
Exactly.
So you felt so bad for her that you had phone sex with him and told him
I didn't have phone sex with him. I told him I can't do that with him.
But you continued.
I kept egging him on, yeah, because I wanted to get evidence. So for Jessie, first of all, I don't like tattoo guys. I don't like guys who don't have jobs. I don't like guys who are in jail. Wade does not appeal to me. I don't think he's an attractive person. And also he's a murderer. So that kind of like, makes him even.
Yo, this person might have literally pulled off the best troll ever in the history of the world at this point. Like, this for AJ or whoever it is pretending to be Ari, you got him good. And you seem to be a down-to-earth person. You seem to think all things that all these other people involved should. And I don't know who these other people are involved in the chat, but y'all have some diluted things like, well, you had phone sex with her, yeah, to expose Wade, and y'all are just diluted.
Even worse. But I only talked to him for, let's see, about 3 days maybe. And then when all that stuff started, I cut them off completely and I stopped talking to them. I blocked their number. I blocked the jail number because he kept hitting me up. He kept calling me nonstop. And then he kept messaging me on the jail mail thing. And I actually ended up having to delete my account.
So
hey, hold on. Little Chicken Nugget. Which one was the one that called themselves Chicken Nugget? I'm pretty sure this is one of the Wade wives. This Little Chicken Nugget. Because she seems like she's on Wade's side. Who is this? Someone put a name to this person.
You told him that he can't be all the way Team Ari.
Yeah, I did tell him that because I knew he was going. I knew what he was going to. He would throw Jessie under the bus, and I felt bad for this girl because she was spending her life savings for him.
Yeah.
You don't understand what all the things that she told me she was doing for this guy. And I didn't want her to waste her time or her money because he uses people. That's what he does. And I wanted her to open her eyes because, I mean, she seemed like a nice person when I first talked to her. But as all this stuff has came out, obviously she's just as manipulative as him. She's like the female version of Wade. So, yeah. I mean, when I first met her, not met her, but when I first talked to her, she seemed like a very nice person. And I really truly felt bad for her. Like, I have no interest in Wade. I'm engaged, and I was engaged then, but I'm married now. So I have absolutely no interest in Wade. My husband knew the whole thing. I told him what I was doing. Told him I was getting evidence for her.
Good. Get her, Aaron. Let's go, AJ.
And I didn't have phone sex with him. I told him I couldn't do that with him. And then that's when I got off of the phone with him. If you listen to the full call, I actually got off the phone with him. And then he called me back a couple of hours later. And I don't know if this phone call has been released yet, but like he told me that he broke up with Jessie, and I don't know if that one's been released yet. But
he did say
obviously they didn't break up because they were talking, and she was talking about how he was being flirtatious with me because she's seen the emails.
To be fair, Wade's claim to every girl that he's broken up with every other girl. We all know that this is a juicy live stream. Oh man, I do believe that this is the person who was pretending to be Ari. And I think this is explaining a lot for us. This is an amazing video. I'm very, very happy I found this. This is a good thing to react to on this Sunday morning we got here.
Question, you're the real Ari, right? You're claiming you're the real Ari?
My name is Ari. I mean, I'm not going to tell my full name because everybody has assumed that I'm some girl named what is Jessie's sister's name? Kayla or Kaylee? Is it Kaylee?
Kaylee.
So okay.
Everybody's assumed you are.
I'm sorry.
If you are who you claim you are, turn your camera on.
No, because I don't want to be identified. No one has identified me yet.
Yeah, but aren't you an attorney?
Excuse me?
Aren't you an attorney?
I am actually, and you guys still haven't identified me. No one has identified me.
To hire you. I mean, your picture has to be on Google if this is the real you.
It is on Google, but you don't know my full name. Ari is just my nickname. That is not my full name.
Ariel Ratisma.
Nope, that's not me. I'm not her. I'm not Monica. I'm not
the name on the bar card. That's the name on the bar card.
That's a fake bar card.
So hold on, I'm confused. Okay. First off, I don't think that AJ here, or AJ is the person pretending to be Ari, the real Ari, okay? I don't think AJ is a real lawyer. At least if she is, what she's doing is highly unethical, sending a fake bar card, impersonating another lawyer. So I don't think she's a real lawyer. I do think that what I'm thinking right now, and let me know if chat if you're following and what you guys think. I'm thinking AJ scams people as a real lawyer, pretends to be a real lawyer and scams people. It's pretty bad thing to do. And she ran along Wade, and Wade was so awful of a person that even she couldn't accept that, and she needed to exact some karma on Wade. And then she thought she was helping Jesse, because I could see just having a conversation with Jesse where you don't hear any of the weird stuff and the obsession and the lies, how she could come off as a nice person. She's just, a little light, sweet voice. And she thought she was helping them and then got into it and lured Wade into all that. So it would make sense. It would add up. And then why she did all the lying and stuff. I don't believe for a second she's actually a real lawyer, because a real lawyer wouldn't really be able to engage in all this stuff. I believe that she fakes being a lawyer and she just said, you know what, I got to get this money. I think from Wade, it went from being about money is what it sounded like to being about like, yo, this is a horrible person. Because the way she sounded, she said all the things about Wade earlier about how he's a horrible person, how he's ugly, tats on his face, a killer, in jail, and that's why she doesn't like him. All the things everyone else should be saying. And everyone else in this call is crazy because you're like trying to like get on her for what she did, but not get on Wade for what he did. Are we being serious right now? Like the fact that she's the morally best person in this call says a lot. Holy.
That's not my bar card. I don't know who made that, but that was on like Reddit. That's not my bar card.
Can I
never, first of all, no attorney in their right mind would send their bar card out to a complete stranger.
No attorney in their right mind would talk the way you talk to Wade on the phone either.
Well, first of all, I don't just practice law. I had a company. I'm in the entertainment industry. I have a big company, and I do this on the side. So I'm not your typical attorney or whatever, but I did go to law.
Guys, she probably has a regular job, and she scams criminals on the side. That's what I think she does.
What you were saying to Duty Ron, I remember listening to that phone call.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, sorry to keep interrupting, she did not go to law school. She did not go to law school because the way she talks about laws, she did not go to law school. She has less of an understanding than the average 7-year-old about laws. Yeah, she's capping about being a lawyer. That's for sure.
He was stupid. He acts like he knows. Yeah, he's stupid.
No,
he's not intelligent at all.
Christy, go ahead, Christy, jump in.
Guys, can I jump in here? Okay, thank you. Hi, Ari.
Hi.
Hi, Ari. How are you? Okay, so I just have, let me know if you can answer a couple of questions for us.
Okay.
First of all, on the call, there was mention of a guy named Chris. Did you connect to Wade through this guy named Chris?
Yeah, I did. Chris is the guy that he dated.
Oh, okay. So you connected through the guy he dated. Now, Jessie said she knew Chris. So how did Jessie know Chris? Because from what I understand, Chris doesn't like Wade because Wade tried to STAB him. So
I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I know that he did hook up with Chris. I don't know if there was, I don't think he stabbed. Maybe it's a different Chris because I don't think he stabbed him. He never told me that. If he did, I don't think Chris probably wouldn't be talking to him if, he stabbed him, but
yeah, there was definitely a domestic violence thing. And Kelly has stated several times that Chris has an issue with him and that Chris would be speaking in any documentaries against Wade. So
yeah, it's
that
probably
part
a
is
different
little-
Chris. It's probably a different.
Mhm.
I don't think that it's the same Chris, because I can tell you right now, the Chris that I know would never connect or continue to be in contact with someone who stabbed him. He stabbed somebody, really?
Could you just
There's
tell
only
me what
one
color
Chris.
hair he has?
What color of hair does Chris have?
Yeah.
Brown.
Okay. All right. And then as far as Jesse, did you?
Y'all need to stop chewing gum like this and having your mic right here. Okay? Look, I'll even show you my mic. I have a big, nice mic. It's right up here. I do it directional because I occasionally like to chew nicotine. I'm not right now, but I occasionally like to chew nicotine gum during lives. And I already don't chew like a buffoon. Stop it. I'm here. I don't know if y'all can hear my earphones while I'm here. From at least 2 of them. Probably 3. Bro, stop. I get it. Y'all all seem a little older than me, so y'all don't know the etiquette of making, like, you weren't raised on making a good strain. Don't do that. If you're chewing gum, especially if you're muted or something, or just keep it in the side of your mouth. Something. Stop. It's bad. It's bad. Don't listen to this with earphones, folks.
Did Jesse connect you to Chris, or did Chris connect you to Jesse?
Chris connected to Jesse and told her about me, and then Jesse messaged me on Instagram.
Okay. And
I thought you said you reached out. You said you reached out to her.
I didn't reach out to her. She reached out to me. These people reached out to me. It was all through Chris. Chris started the whole thing. Chris knew Jesse and Wade. He was friends with Wade. He hooked up with Wade. Chris used to live in Florida, and he used to work at that same, like in Key West with Wade or something like that. I don't know if it was like a resort or something like that, but that's how they met.
Yeah,
and,
this is the Chris that he stabbed. The thing is, the reason Chris didn't say anything is because, from what I understand, Chris enjoyed it.
They used to hook up, and then he told Jesse about me, and then Jesse contacted me on Instagram, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and she called me the next day, and I talked to her, and then she was wanting me to call Wade and talk to him, and that was just it. I mean, she connected to me. She came to me.
I thought in the phone calls Shannon knew you.
Who?
I thought Shannon knew you in the phone calls.
I don't know who Shannon is. I don't know who Shannon is. I don't know who Kaylee is. I don't know who Monica is. I don't know if any of these people have anything to do with it.
Okay, so
I have
when
one
you
more.
Connected, I'm sorry.
No, I'm driving, so I just have one more question before I mute myself. The Innocence Project denies being in contact with you and having anything to do with you.
Well, I know personally Barry Sheck, and he's going to say something like that because I told him I didn't want to be involved with this. I told him this is going to be a shitstorm.
There we go.
Media.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I do believe that she was exacting some revenge on Wade, but she is not a lawyer. She is a fake lawyer. I would almost guarantee. I don't know why people are getting on her so much, because I like what she did to Wade. I would kind of be laughing about it. I would kind of find it funny. But no, going around being a fake lawyer, if you're doing this to more people, that is messed up. That is messed up. But you did get Wade.
Fine if he says he's not connected to me, because I know the truth. I sponsor that organization, sweetheart. I give the check to that organization. The reason that organization is still running is because of me. I mainly sponsor them rather than practice law. I give money so they can practice.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. First of all, that's not what you were saying before. You've never said that. And on top of that, it's like, if you were this rich, what are you doing on a whatever TikTok or whatever this is with 2? None of y'all even have a lot, like whatever these mean. What are you doing talking, like getting involved in this drama? You don't have a lot going on in life, or you wouldn't even be on this live stream talking with these people. If you had stuff going on in your life, you would not be here. You would have stuff to do. People who have busy lives don't have time to do this. Like, come on. This live stream is long. I've seen it. It's long.
These cases, so they can take one case a year.
That's weird.
Okay, but you know that the Innocent Project doesn't take one case per year. You know that, right?
They do take one case per year. They take one to two.
That's incorrect.
Yes, they
That's
do.
incorrect. If you go to their website, it says clearly right on there, and if you just use Google, it'll tell you they don't take one case per year.
Yes, they do.
That's incorrect.
They take one death penalty case per year.
Okay, well, now you're saying death penalty.
Yeah, they do.
Death penalty.
One death penalty case per year, and that's why Wade and Jesse contacted me, because Chris knew I sponsored them, and I do have a law degree, but I mean, I don't practice in the court of law. I only got a law degree to help me in business, and so I wouldn't,
Okay.
I'm sorry. What is that noise?
I understand that part. I can understand that you don't practice the law. Can you tell us about the money that you mentioned on the phone? You kept saying that you had put up all this money.
Yeah.
What was the money?
Okay, so hold on. This is what it says. I wrote, how many death penalty cases does the Innocence Project take per year? Okay, and then this is the answer. If they pass the process, the Innocence Project takes their case. Resources permitting, about 2,400 prisoners write to the Innocence Project annually, and at any given time, the Innocence Project is evaluating 6,000 to 8,000 potential cases. So basically, they have 2,400 cases a year, and if they pass the process, they get represented. So I'm guessing it's a small percentage of them, but it's not one. It would be clearly stated if it was that. So she right there is definitely capping. And I got a law degree to help me in business. Sure, that can help you in business, but most people, if you're in your position in business, hire somebody with a law degree. So I mean, you're capping about that. I'm glad you got Wade, but you're capaholic. You're not a lawyer. You're not part of the Innocence Project. Stop pretending to be part of that. Like, come on.
Before, if the intention was for him to be pro bono.
And if you're gonna say it says something like that, it takes 2 seconds to Google it and get your facts straight.
Yeah, because this is what I do. This is what I do for the Innocence Project. I give the money so they can take cases for free. I sponsor them. It's one of the charities that I do. And for a case like Wade's, a death penalty case, it costs about over $600K to be that. So you got to have specialists, you got to have doctors, you got to have attorney fees, because it's not just one attorney working on the case. It's multiple attorneys working on the case. And yes, I wrote a check because this was before I knew the whole story, and before I should have checked him out more. That was dumb of me. He seemed like he's very manipulative, and he seems like, he can easily fool people. He's like a chameleon. And I gave the Innocence Project, Barry, I gave him the check, and I told him, I'm going to sponsor this guy. You should take the case. And they were going to take the case. And then we did all this research about him, and Barry told me about it. And that's when I was like, okay, we've got to back off, because there's no way he's going to win a case, because his story makes absolutely
What's going on?
You're muted. You're muted, Ari, or whatever.
I'm sorry. Adrian had another call. What did you say?
Okay. Okay. So you were basically going to sponsor by putting up the money for the DP case.
Yes.
Okay. Now you mentioned that there would be a phone call with Barry on it.
Yes.
So you're saying that Barry, the founder of the Innocence Project, got on the phone with Wade Wilson?
No, he didn't. He was going to when we were going to take the case, but he ended up, after he did his research, after his colleague Peter did the research about Wade, they talked to me. They're like, we cannot take this case. This man.
Again, cap. It says clearly on the thing that people apply, and then they get selected if they meet the criteria. Okay. So this is the Innocence Project. They're not agreeing to take on your case and then not looking it up and only looking it up after and being like, oh, no, we're not taking this on. These people do their due diligence and make sure. They would know, if they were considering taking it on, they would know everything about Wade's case that they could beforehand. That's literally what the application process would be for. Stop capping about being part of the Innocence Project. I was cool with you, getting Wade, but the fact that you're pretending all this stuff is this is what Pino says. She's like, she does drugs, then she gets on the phone and thinks she's calling people and lives this whole big life when in reality she's dialing random numbers and talking to no one. But she's like having business. Yeah. It was about 100K, but move those assets to line 1, and then on line 2, put the third assets. That'll total about $500,000, and then we'll be good for the day. But then tomorrow we're gonna do 4, like talking to nobody, talking to no one on the phone. This is crazy. Wade finally met someone crazier than him.
Is clearly guilty. There is nothing to prove his innocence, because he listened to all these, all the TikToks, all the research online, and then he told me that he was not going to have anything to do with him. And I was about to tell Wade that, but before I could tell Wade that, he was hitting on me.
Okay, so when you spoke to Wade, the initial contact was with Wade that you were gonna possibly sponsor the case and that you were gonna take on the case. And then you presented it to Barry, and then Barry said he couldn't do anything with this case.
Yes. Barry originally said that he was going to take the case after I gave him the money. I gave him the money for the case. And then after that, that's when the research starts. That's when he was doing his research on the case. And then he came back to me. He called me literally the day after I talked to Wade. And it was a Sunday. And he said to me,
I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but if you're that big of a lawyer, let's just say Innocence Project aside, you're that big of a lawyer, when you're considering taking on a case for stuff like this, you're going to have one of your assistants or your paralegals or your aides look over the case and be like, sir, I think this one's a good idea, or it's not. You're a super busy lawyer. You don't have time to look through 2,400 individual cases a year to see which ones you're going to take. That makes no sense. You have people for that. And then as it gets filtered up, you get the right ones in front of you. That doesn't even make sense. Do you know how many people in the world are trying to get that man as their lawyer? He would spend all his time looking over cases he's never going to represent if that's what they did.
I can't take this case. He's like, because this man is clearly guilty. He's like, I don't believe in his innocence. He said, I only take cases where I believe in the person's innocence. There's nothing to prove his innocence. His story makes absolutely no sense. He's clearly admitted that he's did it to everybody on these calls and, to the cops. And he said, I just cannot take the case. And he gave me the money back. And I was about to tell Jesse and Wade, but before I could do that, that's when he started flirting with me. But I did write Wade an email telling him that we were not going to take his case and we were not interested.
Okay, now as far as the case itself, he was not even, first of all, when you spoke to him, he hadn't even, correct me if I'm wrong, he had not received the DP yet, or he had.
Right.
Okay, so when you spoke to him, he hadn't received DP yet, which means he would have had to have at least appealed it. And that we know takes at least like 10 to 15 years. So when would you be taking this case on if the appeals process hadn't even gone through yet?
But that's the thing. We didn't take his case officially.
Right, but why would you be looking at it if it's not even in the stage of being reviewed?
Well, Barry does that. Barry is the main attorney. He would be doing all those things for him. Like, I wouldn't be Wade's attorney. I would just be assisting on the case and sponsoring the case.
I really find it hard to believe that the founder of this company, this worldwide, I wouldn't say worldwide, but they have locations in every state.
Yeah, they do. And Barry is a really good friend of mine, and he's a good friend of my husband's. And I actually took a class where he was teaching. Barry used to teach, and he was one of my professors before he founded the Innocence Project. Oh, actually, he had the Innocence Project while he was teaching, and that's how I know him. We became.
So Barry knows me, but Barry, the only guy who could confirm this, has also denied knowing me because I told him to deny knowing me for absolutely no reason that makes sense, just because. What? Like, yo, I go from liking Harry 1 minute to just being like, what the fuck? How did Wade believe any of this? Any of this? Yo, Jesse and Wade got their karma, and it was Ari.
Really good friend.
Or A.G.B, whoever it is.
You're muted.
Stop chewing gum. Oh my God, whoever's doing that.
You're muted.
Why would she
tell him that she had to marry him to represent him if she's not even a practicing lawyer?
She's a practicing scammer. That's why.
That's a good question.
Very
I don't
good
remember her
question.
saying that. She said she had to
Oh,
marry
wait,
him.
was that German girl? Do we have German girl in here? I just heard. It's probably another German girl.
Yes.
Yeah, hold on, we have to get a quarter.
Why would she
On
have
the
to
very
marry
last one, she had to marry him to be able to represent him.
She went out.
Why would she have to marry him to represent him? That doesn't even make any sense.
That is, yeah, that's
She's all right, please.
Made sense to Wade. It made
Let's see if
sense
she's
to
gonna
Wade.
come back
That's
or
what
not.
matters.
I doubt.
Okay, what's up? So this is the end of this live stream. I will tell you, I'm gonna look if there's more juicy stuff on this or like this type of content. I will be reacting to it. I'm gonna try and find more stuff like this. I'm gonna try and find more originals that aren't reacted to on YouTube the same way. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know, was that the real Ari? Is what she's saying factual? What do you guys think is really going on here? I'm curious. I want to know down in the comment section what y'all think is going on here. Because honestly, this has been a crazy video. We got some, if this is real, we got some information here, some good information that we could use to keep piecing, the Ari origin stories together. And I want to see where this goes from here. Anyways, this has been another episode of the Wade Wilson, or the life of Wade Wilson, into this saga. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope everyone has an amazing, amazing Sunday. And, just stay safe, stay blessed. I hope everyone does amazing today. I hope you enjoy your Sundays, watch football, do whatever, spend some time with family. And yeah, just have a blessed day.